Number 10. Grave shopping. Window shopping is not weird. We all love to mindlessly walk around a store that we know well and good we will be purchasing nothing from. But the Kardashian family doesn't go to Hot Topic. Or maybe they do. I live in Toronto, I've never seen them. Instead, this family likes to window shop for coffins and grave plots. During an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, momager Kris decided that the best gift she could get for her kids was a nice, comfortable place to keep their lifeless husks tucked away when they pass. Kris and the crew spent the day trying to decide what model of coffin they wanted to purchase, with Kris going so far as to getting into a coffin to see if it was cozy. Hey Kris, if you're trying to get cozy in a coffin, you're still alive! Bang on that lid, man! On top of shopping for physical coffins, she also took the kids on a tour of a graveyard that seemed to boast some pretty stellar plots. There is such a serious conversation over the choice of in the ground or in a mausoleum made of marble. Yeah, which one do you think they picked? Number 9. Mystery meat. Following a brief discussion on the practice of eating the stuff that comes out after we're born, yep, that's a thing apparently, Kim and Kourtney decided to hatch a plot where they would trick their family into thinking they had just eaten placenta. There, I'm only saying it once, from now on it'll be called the stuff. The sisters go through an elaborate preparation and brag to their family about the mystery meat that they had purchased. As the evening went on, they continued to plant the seeds right up until the forks were plunged deep into the meat. Following the meal, they decided that it was the perfect time to tell their family they had just dined on the stuff. Of course, their immediate reaction is disgust and anger at the same time. Don't eat mystery meat, guys, especially if it's cooked by Kim Kardashian. That could be a person for all you know. They let the prank play out for some time, with Caitlyn Jenner almost blowing her chunks all over the table. After a few moments of panic, they let it slip that the meat that they were eating had actually been brisket, but needless to say, Kim's no longer in charge of family dinner night. Number 8. The Pepsi commercial. Sponsored brand deals can mean a lot of money for the people involved. Just look at every cologne on the planet. They hire someone to stand on a beach for them for like 30 seconds and make $1 million. Around 2017, Kendall Jenner decided to partner with the soda brand Pepsi to create a commercial that would act as both an ad and a PSA against hate. The commercial consisted of hundreds of people from different parts of the world drinking Pepsi, and eventually everyone comes together on the streets on what appeared to be New York, I'm not sure. Kendall looks to the crowd, wipes off her makeup, and follows suit. And the cringe comes when the crowd of people appear to be at a standoff with the police. Kendall walks through the crowd and hands an officer a can of Pepsi. He sips it, and the crowd cheers before they swarm the cops, who are suddenly just cool with everything that's going on. The ad was meant to be a political statement following the passing of several African American men and women in the United States, aiming to bring people together, which it did, but for the wrong reasons. The world collectively cringed at this absolute mess, forcing Kendall to drop an apology video on that season's premiere of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She may have apologized, but we will still never forget this strange brand collaboration. Number 7. The birthday suit shoot. Momager Kris Jenner has been a big part of the family unit for a long time. In fact, she's one of the main reasons that her kids are such good liars. The older we get, the more we clamor for our glory days. With Kris, she decided she wanted to recapture that youthful image in a birthday suit swimsuit at her home. During the episode titled Let It Go, the Kardashian kids enter their backyard only to discover that their mother is taking rather spicy photos in a see-through swimsuit. Not something that anyone wants to see their mom doing. Kris was quick to tell the girls there was nothing wrong with the shoot and that she was simply trying to show off her curves, but her clan wanted none of it and instead let their mother know exactly how they felt. The momager just continues to take photos despite her kids now being present at the home, and at one point Kim literally tells her mom that she's scarring them for life. The moment was more awkward than anything else, but certainly shows just how little regard Kris actually has for her kids. Number 6. Selfie! If you're a Kardashian, any moment is a good photo op, whether it's on a luxurious boat in the Caribbean or in an SUV on the way to jail. Anytime is selfie time. During an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the crew were on their way to drop Khloe off at prison after she violated her probation. Things in the car were intense, but Kim decided to diffuse the tension by snapping a couple of candid pics of herself and her sisters. The entire ride was filled with cringy moments, including Kris suggesting that they all go get some pre-jail IHOP and chill out. The funniest thing about the moment is that Khloe seems pretty calm and collected considering she's going to jail, while her mother is just furious from start to finish. Needless to say, if your sibling is being arrested, don't take family photos on the way to the prison. Number 5. Shut your mouth. When Scott Disick was still with Kourtney Kardashian, he was a regular wild man on the show. He would regularly get into situations that made him look like the absolute worst, which he was. During one particularly rough moment on the show, Scott was accompanied by the rest of the crew to Las Vegas, Nevada for some wholesome family fun. Nah, I'm just kidding, they drank no-no juice a lot. At one point, Scott becomes so intoxicated that he loses control of his emotions and berates a waiter for simply doing his job, He then proceeds to give him a tip by jamming $100 in his mouth. The waiter pushed back and walks away, which is probably a good move. If Scott Disick shoved $100 in my mouth, well, I'm poor, I'd probably take it and spend it on my hydro bill. Scott is one of the messiest members of the family, despite not being a blood-born Kardashian, but thankfully Kourtney eventually came to her senses and dumped him like yesterday's lunch. Number 4. Kylie's billions. Kylie Jenner made the cover of Forbes magazine in 2019 as the youngest self-made billionaire ever, following the successful partnership between her cosmetic brand and Ulta, which was like a beauty salon company. It turned out that that wasn't actually the case though. Jenner allegedly sold half of her cosmetics company, Kylie Cosmetics, to the beauty giant Coty in a deal worth $1.2 billion. Now this was huge and considered to be one of the greatest celebrity cash outs of all time. But the first rule of being a famous person is, if you can help it, maybe try not to lie, especially to Forbes magazine, who did some digging and revealed that Jenner was actually inflating the size and profit margins of her business. It turns out that the cosmetic brand was actually much smaller than originally thought, and it was uncovered that Jenner only actually made about $314 million after taxes from the company. The revelation was briefly covered on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but it was ultimately edited to make the situation look less severe than it actually was. The reality was Kylie was lying about her money, tricking people who wanted to invest, and let's not even start with where her cosmetics come from. It's understaffed factories with non-protective gear. Good luck, Kylie. Number 3. 2020. Who cares? In 2020, while most of the world was shut down and we were all forced to stay in our houses, the rich and powerful were living it up, especially the Kardashian family. Despite the entire world throwing a close sign over their doors, Kim and her sisters decided they cared more about seeing their buddies than saving the world. Kim rented a private island for her 40th birthday, an entire island for about 30 people. Yeah, that makes sense. Kim decided to post photos and videos from the event, which were of course met with immediate backlash. Kim was quick to defend herself by claiming that every person there had stayed inside and away from people for at least 2 weeks. They all tested negative, blah blah blah. In her post, she claimed that the event was to help herself and her friends feel normal during a particularly hard time in history. Hey man, I would've liked to do that too, but I don't have any K's in my name. Not only did Kim throw a lavish private party, but her sister Kendall did the exact same thing, only much worse. Kendall decided it would be an awesome idea to throw a private rooftop Halloween party in Hollywood, California, and invited not 30, but 100 of her closest friends. Again, the crew claimed that everyone attending the event was tested and good to go, but the reality was nobody knows what went down or where they came from. Most of them probably showed up in a helicopter or something. Freaking famous jerks. Number 2. Cut the cucumber. Alright, anybody who's ever made a meal has probably chopped a vegetable once or twice. For me, it was only once, never again. For Kendall Jenner, it seems like the answer is she's never done it. During an episode of the latest version of the reality show, The Kardashians, Kendall was shot attempting to cut a cucumber, and I do mean attempting. Like in the footage, she moves her hands around in a weird way that makes her like chop the cucumber backwards. I don't know. This woman has clearly never taken a single cooking class in her life. And I'd like to thank my high school cooking teacher, Mr. Kenzel, for being so good at his job and preventing me from looking like this. Seriously, she was holding the already cut side of the cucumber trying to grip it. Like, just watch one YouTube tutorial. The moment went viral online and she received massive amounts of online hate, with many asking the question why she was trying to make herself a snack. Like, we all know that these people have a literal closet full of chefs waiting to be activated and put into cook mode. Next time, Kendall should just go on Amazon and buy the automatic cucumber slicer for 3 easy payments of $99.99. And at number 1, girls don't work these days. In March 2022, the Kardashian clan were doing a profile for the outlet Variety. When the question was asked, what advice do you have for women aiming to be entrepreneurs? Kim decided to declare that women simply needed to get off their bums and work. Nobody wants to work these days. The tone-deaf statement was met with massive amounts of backlash. Considering Kim comes from a long line of wealthy people, it's no surprise that she would receive such public hate. If I was born rich, I'd probably be telling people to work harder too, but like, Kim gets paid to basically look good and be on TV, that's it. Oh yeah, definitely hard work being done there. Oh, so exhausting.
At number 10, bribes. At this point, we all know that the Kardashians have a my way or the highway kind of attitude. They will get what they want by any means necessary, and we've seen this a few times over the Kardashians' respective careers, but one of the lesser known times that this sort of attitude came out was when Kris Jenner was trying to save her short-lived talk show. Mama Jenner dreamed of being a talk show host, but those dreams were sort of crushed when her talk show premiered in the summer of 2013. She got a series of reviews, and when she read them, she came across one that she really didn't like. One reviewer named Linda Stassi from the New York Post wrote a column about the show and called Kris a quote, demented Norma Desmond, end quote. Well, because Kris didn't like what Linda had wrote about her, she decided to send the writer a bribe of a dozen Magnolia cupcakes and a $325 sterling silver pen from Tiffany's, along with a note saying to write a better review next time. In the end though, this bribe didn't actually work because her show was cancelled not long after. At number 9, sweatshops. The Kardashians have faced backlash and scandal many times in the past, so really they're nothing new, but one of their more extreme scandals came from when one of their many clothing brands got exposed. In 2011, a Kardashian clothing brand came under fire after it was revealed that the garments were being produced by Chinese workers being paid 8 cents a day. Can you imagine these millionaires paying workers 8 cents? Insane, right? A non-profit organization called China Labor Watch, a group that fights sweatshops, released this information during investigation into the Kardashian brand. Of course, Mama Jenner came in and stepped in, and she claimed that they didn't know anything about that, going on to say, quote, "The factories are very well policed and meet factory standards," end quote. No one is talking about the factory standards, Kris. We're talking about basically not paying people for making clothes that you're about to sell for $100 a piece. That's the tea. Before we carry on dishing about the Kardashian secrets though, why not take a quick moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, maybe consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Kardashian divorce. Remember when Kim K was married to Kris Humphries? Yeah, that was kind of a blip in the Kardashian timeline, but hey, it still happened. They were only married for 72 days, but it was still messy, and their subsequent divorce was just as messy. The cameras for their show Keeping Up with the Kardashians showed off much of their tumultuous marriage, but the cameras were ultimately cut when it came to their divorce, but it wasn't for lack of trying. Kim wanted to film her goodbye call with Kris over Skype, where she was going to say her final farewells and tell him that she really loved him. But Kris saw right through Kim's attempt to get content out of their divorce and flat out refused, saying that he refused to ever be on another episode ever again. Honestly, I can't blame him for making that decision. At number 7, Nanny Knows. The Kardashians have been exposed for a lot over the years by countless people. Honestly, this could be its own video in and of itself, if we haven't already done that. Anyways, one of the people that joined the Exposing the Kardashians club was the family's former nanny. The nanny, a woman named Pam Behan, exposed Kris for her parenting. Although Kris looks like a cool, fun mom, almost acting like one of the Kardashian sisters rather than a parent, according to the nanny, that is all a charade and couldn't be farther from the truth. Turns out that Kris was actually a really mean mom. She said that all of the girls were really shallow and even exposed Kris for being mean to Khloe and criticizing her for being overweight. On top of that, according to the nanny, Kris was also a stickler for healthy foods, saying that she was obsessed with keeping produce in the house, and she even exposed her for having a meltdown when she forgot to pick up broccoli. Now that is a very different side of Kris Jenner that we never get to see. At number 6, private investigator. Back to past Kardashian relationships, remember when Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom were a thing? Yeah, super messy, as most Kardashian marriages tend to be, but this one was ultra messy because it turns out that at one point, Khloe hired a private investigator to follow Lamar around to watch if he was cheating on Khloe. This was something that we didn't get to see on the family's reality show, but apparently the private investigator was hired to catch Lamar with at least 5 different mistresses. But why put all this effort into a supposed cheater? Well, it turns out that there was a specific clause in their prenuptial agreement that if one of them was caught cheating, then the divorce settlement payout would be larger to the other party. This means that with the help of her private investigator, Khloe would be able to get a higher settlement in the divorce. The things people do for money. At number 5, who started the show? The family's reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians has been on air for so long that it almost feels like it has been on TV forever. Obviously, it wasn't actually on TV since like the beginning of time, but it was certainly a staple in a lot of people's homes. This show really boosted the careers of all of the Kardashians, but who had the original idea for the show? Well, that's up for debate. According to Caitlyn Jenner, she wrote in her book that she was the one who came up with the initial idea for the reality show, not Kris, as many were led to believe. In the memoir, Caitlyn wrote that she told Kris about her idea for the show, saying, quote, "The house is awash in puberty and adolescence and young adulthood, and 2 parents with very different styles. It seems to me something is there for television," end quote. She then goes on to say that Kris then claimed to have come up with the idea for the show and then took it upon herself to pitch the show to Ryan Seacrest, and the rest is history. Talk about starting things off on a sour note. At number 4, always perfect. Kylie and Kendall Jenner are the babies of the Kar Jenner clan, and they were pretty young when they started to rise to fame. Because the cameras were always on them, and because they were starting to gain notoriety on their own, their mom Kris decided that they needed to look perfect at all times to make themselves and the family look better in the eyes of the media. In an interview with Cosmopolitan in 2017, Kylie opened up about this dynamic in her young life and revealed that Kris Jenner had nail techs come to the house every week to do the girls' nails to make sure that they looked as perfect as possible. Kylie said that because this was ingrained in her from such a young age, that this just became a habit of hers even going into her adult life, which is why we see Kylie flexing her new nails on the gram. In the interview, she went into further detail about having to look put together all the time, where she said, quote, "My mom would make us do it. She would have a nail artist come to the house once a week. She would make us get our nails done. She was like, you are never going to look like you're not put together, so we're always getting them done." End quote. At number 3, fake homes. You know how on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, when they start a new scene in a new place, they show the front of the person's house? Well, it turns out that's kind of a lie. The houses that they show in the reality show aren't actually the Kardashians' real houses. In the beginning, they used to show the front of the Kardashians' houses, but soon it became a safety issue as it made it easy for people to find them. Kim opened up about why they decided to use fake houses instead of their real exteriors, saying, quote, "My old home in Beverly Hills was really my home, and I would get people showing up at all hours ringing my gate, and I had to call the police on several occasions. People hopping the gate and scaring me. It was so unsafe. The Hollywood Star Tours would stop by too because they recognized my home from our show. After that, we realized how unsafe it was to show the exterior of our homes, so now we use different homes for the outside for security purposes." Though they do use different homes as the exterior shots, Kim did confirm that they do actually film inside of their real houses. At number 2, original goal. Keeping Up with the Kardashians became a mega hit where people just tuned in to watch the drama unfold with the Kar Jenners. I would be lying if I said that this show wasn't secretly my guilty pleasure. It's just so chaotic and I love it. But it turns out that the original purpose for the show wasn't just to simply keep up with the Kardashians. They had ulterior motives. According to Mama Kris Jenner, the original purpose for the show was to bring attention to the Kardashians' clothing stores Dash and Smoosh. Their store Dash became the focal point for their reality show spin-offs like Kourtney and Khloe Take Miami and Dash Dolls. During an interview with Variety in 2015, Kim shared how they wanted to use the show to grow their business, saying, quote, "When the opportunity for our TV show came about, I wanted to do it to bring attention to our stores. I was thinking this might not last very long, but will grow a great business and expand online. I thought it would be great press. I didn't think it would turn into what it turned into." End quote. Their stores ended up closing in 2018, but at that point they had so many other things going on and the show wasn't even boosting their business anymore, so really, who cares? And finally, at number 1, new phones. Even a pandemic can't stop the Kardashians from creating content. The 19th season of the reality show was filmed over the course of the lockdown, and it was all done from the inside of the Kardashians' mansions. How they managed to pull all of this off is a little crazy though. Because camera crews weren't considered to be essential workers during California's stay-at-home orders, the Kardashians had to get creative, and so they created a system where every week someone would bring them a new iPhone to film on. They had proper sets built in Kim and Khloe's homes with lighting and the whole 9 yards for their confessionals, but yeah, I still can't get past the iPhone thing. Apparently, a showrunner wearing head-to-toe protective gear would come to the Kardashians' home on Monday morning to bring them a brand new iPhone to start the next cycle of filming. These Kardashians are so crazy.
Coming in at number 10 today, we have Sarah Michelle Gellar. Back in 2014, Sarah Michelle Gellar definitely became Buffy the Kimye Slayer when she threw some serious shade at Kim Kardashian in Kanye West's first ever Vogue cover. Shortly after Anna Wintour approved April issue was revealed, Sarah would head over to her Twitter to say, well, guess I'm canceling my Vogue subscription. Who is with me? While many fans agreed with Sarah's tweet, including me, Kim Kardashian's best friend, Jonathan Schneeb, would retweet Gellar's post and he would say, "Do you even matter?" Buffy fanatics would then even start to argue that she very much does. After much of a debate, even Anna Wintour would come out to defend her controversial choice to place the reality TV star and the rapper on her issue cover in the editor's letter by saying, "As for the cover, my opinion is that both are charming and touching, and it is, I should add, entirely our idea to do it. You may have read that Kanye begged me to put his fiance on Vogue's cover. He did nothing of sort, but if you have to come out to claim something like this, it's most likely it was true." Coming in at number 9, we have Jonah Hill. In 2011, Jonah Hill would end up slamming slamming the Kardashian family in an interview, but even after admitting he hated everything the family represents, he still can't stop watching the show. During the interview, Jonah would count himself among the ranks of those who are still keeping up with the Kardashians, but only with great reluctance. And he even was too duped by Kim's wedding, and he would even state that the show took money and attention from people in the television industry who actually worked to create compelling original programming. Also, in the interview, he would go on to note that the whole show was a giant joke, and then he went on to say, "The truth is, I have friends who work in TV, and Kardashians get higher ratings than their TV shows. That people actually work hard on writing and creating, trying to tell their stories. The fact that Kardashians could be more popular than a show like Mad Men, it's disgusting." But that doesn't mean he doesn't watch, as he would then go on to say, "I can't even understand it, so I watch it. I think it's funny and I definitely enjoy it in a making fun of sort of way. But where does the line sort of end? When do I stop making fun of it and become an actual fan?" And the truth is, you never actually do. Even fans aren't fans. We just find the drama so fantasizing, because what kind of family actually has so much drama going on in their lives 24/7? It's just not healthy. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, we have Lily Reinhart. Lily Reinhart spoke out against Kim after the Skims owner admitted to undergoing a restrictive diet to fit into a vintage Marilyn Monroe gown for the 2022 Met Gala, after Kim boasted about her losing 16 pounds to fit into the iconic gown worn by Marilyn during the John F. Kennedy's birthday party. She was able to lose the weight in 3 weeks. Lily would then take to her Instagram story to call Kim out by saying, "To walk a red carpet and do an interview saying how starving you are because you haven't eaten carbs in the last month, old to fit in an effing dress, so wrong, so effed on hundreds of levels. To openly admit to starving yourself for the sake of the Met Gala, when you know very well that millions of young men and women are looking up to you and listening to your every word. The ignorance is otherworldly and disgusting. Please stop supporting these stupid, harmful celebrities whose entire image revolves around their bodies." Lily then noted, "I'm generally not an angry person, but I swear to God the toxicity of this industry sometimes really gets to me, and I have to head to my Instagram story to rant, to release my rage." Number 7, Michael Bublé. When Michael Bublé was performing his iHeartRadio live concert in 2011, he made his feelings about Kim Kardashian crystal clear when he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest. Please welcome Kim Kardashian." But after a short pause, Bublé then shot back, "Nah, I'm just effing with you. That B ain't coming on my stage," before transitioning into his cover of Nina Simone's classic Feeling Good, which he said was dedicated to Chris Humphries. Later he would explain that he hated Kim because she hurt Chris and he wished that she hurt him instead. Michael's diss wouldn't be the only backlash Kim would experience after she filed divorce from Chris after only being married to him for 72 days. The reality TV star even had to enlist in a celebrity lawyer, Marty Singer, to fight back against Jonathan Jackson, who claims that she staged her wedding, among other things. Number 6, Daniel Craig. It's no lie that the Kardashian family has made millions from living their lives in the public eye thanks to their reality TV show. But one person who is less than impressed by the Kardashian family is Daniel Craig, who launched an astonishing, foul-mouthed rant about the family in an interview with GQ magazine back in 2011. The James Bond star even labeled the clan as effing idiots and criticized those who sell themselves and then make demands about their private life, when he said, "I think there's a lot to be said for keeping your own counsel. It's not about being afraid to go public about your emotions or about who you are and what you stand for, but to sell it off, it's gone. You can't buy it back. You can't buy back your privacy. Oh, I want to be alone? F you. We've been in your living room. We were at your birth. You filmed it for us and showed us the placenta, and now you want some privacy." Referring to the Kardashians, Daniel would then also note that while the clan is worth millions, he doesn't think they were badly off to start in the beginning because of their looks. And then he would go on to say, "You see that? And you think, what? You mean all I have to do is behave like an effing idiot on television and then you'll pay me millions? I'm not judging it. Well, I am obviously. So the moral of the story is, if you want to be famous one day, maybe take some notes." Number 5, we have Rebel Wilson. In 2015, Rebel Wilson would slam the Kardashian family's meteoric rise to fame in a candid live interview. In the interview, the Pitch Perfect actress said she was frustrated that she had to work so much harder to get to where she is and where she wanted to be by saying, "It's not that I hate any of them individually, but it's just that everything they stand for is against everything I stand for, and they're not famous for talent. I worked really hard to get to where I've gotten to." Rebel didn't even want to be on the stage with the family's two youngest siblings at the 2015 MTV Music Video Awards when she said, "I got asked to present with Kendall and Kylie at the latest VMAs, but I said no, I'd rather do it myself." She then went on to compare Kim Kardashian to her own acting experience by saying, "They aren't really about talent. I mean, how Kim got famous was from an X tape, and I went to acting school and worked really hard." Number 4, Reese Witherspoon. In 2011, America's sweetheart Reese Witherspoon was really ready to talk some trash when she went on a rant against certain breed of celebrities when she was at the MTV Movie Awards. When accepting a Generation Award from Robert Pattinson, the actress railed at the celebrities in vain of the Kardashians and Paris Hilton and other celebrities when she said, "I get it, girls, that it's cool to be a bad girl, but it's possible to make it in Hollywood without doing reality shows." While a dig was definitely made towards Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton specifically, Reese would also go on to say, "When I came up in business, if you made an X tape, you were embarrassed and you hid it under your bed." Reese would then go on to say another Hollywood trend she is tired of seeing is the leaking of celebrity nudes photos, and she would even caution those who end up taking them to cover their face so they didn't become the next Kim Kardashian. Number 3, Jon Hamm. Jon Hamm and Kim Kardashian's feud all began when Jon sat down for an interview and said, "Whether it's Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian or whoever, stupid is certainly celebrated. Being an exploitive idiot is a valuable commodity in this culture because you rewarded it significantly." The quote found its way back to the Kardashians, who responded by saying she respected Hamm and his right to have an opinion, but we're all working really hard and we all have to respect one another. Calling someone out who ruins their own business is part of a successful TV show. Producers, writes, designs, and creates. Stupid is in my opinion. Jon would then come out to clarify that he didn't mean to personally offend Kim Kardashian. He's just not a really big fan of the culture she represents. When he said, "It's surprising to me that it has become remotely a story. I don't know Miss Kardashian. I know her public persona. What I said was meant to be more of a persuasiveness of something in our culture, not personal, but she took offense to it, and that's her right. My quote was simply about the version of television and the version of American culture being celebrated, and it's not something that I particularly enjoy." Number 2, Joel McHale. Back in 2018, Joel McHale would land a new weekly show on Netflix 3 years after E! Pulled the plug on his pop culture show, The Soup. After he made a slew of jokes, Kris Jenner wasn't happy about it. Joel, who dished the dirt on E! From 2004 to 2015, told Variety that his streaming series will in some way be similar with its use of clips from television shows among the pity commentary. Reflecting on his years on The Soup, he would also speak about how one of the network's own shows, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, eventually became a no-go area for him, and he would say when Kris Jenner would complain about our jokes, and then later the president of E! Networks would simply ask McHale to lay off the Jenner and Kardashian family for a week, and then the administration and the president told him to his face, "Don't make fun of the Kardashian family. We don't want you to make fun of the Kardashians." Joel then went on to say that the network really wasn't happy when The Soup started to make fun of Kim, as they always joked about how Kim was only famous for having a big peach and the infamous tape, but I mean, they aren't really wrong. Number 1, Jeremy Renner. Back in 2012, Jeremy Renner would join the growing list of celebrities who have expressed an extreme distaste for the Kardashians. In a recent interview with the UK paper The Guardian, the actor would even claim that he never wanted to be famous, and while discussing the pitfalls of fame, he would unleash his disdain for the reality TV family. When the Kardashians' name was mentioned in the interview, Renner would reportedly roll his eyes and then call them ridiculous people with zero talent, who spend their lives making sure everyone knows their names. He would then add, "They are stupid, stupid people," which makes it definitely safe to say you'll never catch Jeremy spending his weekend binging on episodes of this famous reality TV family show. However, whether you like them or hate them, it seems like if you want to get your foot into Hollywood, you have to get on this family's good side, so you might just want to be careful when it comes to making comments about them, because you never know who might be watching.
In at number 10, Blac Chyna. Blac Chyna's 2017 lawsuit against the Kardashian family will finally be taking place after years of stalling. In her $100 million suit, China accused the family of prematurely ending her reality show, Rob and China, and damaging her reputation by claims they made in the media. The planned 10-day trial comes years after the initial filing, and names Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Rob Kardashian, and Kylie Jenner as being responsible for the demise of the show. China also lists Ryan Seacrest and other producers on the witness list. China claims that Rob and his family wanted to destroy her and her reputation after the breakup. China states that the couple was in the process of filming season 2 of the show, but it was abruptly halted. The Kardashians claim the show ended because Rob and China split, and because China was physically harmful to Rob during their relationship. In at number 9, Kim Kardashian. In May of 2021, it was leaked that Kim Kardashian was being sued by her staff for unpaid wages. And the more you learn, the crazier the claims seem. 7 members of her staff are suing Kim for not providing the workers with meal breaks and failing to cover any expenses incurred on the job. The employees claim that when they were hired, they were told they would be considered full-time employees. But after they started working, they were labeled independent contractors and treated as such. This meant the staff were not given any benefits of full-time employment. Kim is also being sued for, quote, failure to pay overtime wages and for unfair and unlawful business practices. Although Kim's reps claim it's not her fault, as she hired a third-party vendor to handle the maintenance on her property, and they should be suing this vendor, not her. In at number 8, Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner has gotten a lot of backlash because of her tequila company 818, and now some of this backlash has turned into a lawsuit. 818 is being sued by competitor brand Tequila 512 for allegedly ripping off 512's branding. 512 claims in their lawsuit that it's a cheap trick for 818 to copy its shtick by using an area code as its name. 818 is named after the San Fernando Valley, and 512 is Austin. 512 also claims the design and color scheme of the bottles was intentionally made similar to confuse customers. There's even a strange twist in this suit that involves Kim Kardashian. In Kim's mobile app, Kim Kardashian Hollywood, there's an emoji designed for Kendall's 818 tequila brand. But this emoji looks exactly like the 512 brand. Whether the mistake was intentional or not, it gives way to the theory that people easily confuse the two brands. And at number 7, Tristan Thompson. So we all know that Tristan Thompson cheats on Khloe Kardashian a lot. So much so that when any woman comes forward claiming that she hooked up with Tristan, the media generally believes her. However, when Kimberly Alexander accused Tristan of cheating and fathering her child, he took her to court for libel, claiming that was a lie. In the end, the test results determined that it was a lie, and Tristan was awarded $50,000 in damages. She will also have to pay close to $3,000 in court costs. Plus, she will be forced to pay 10% interest until the full amount is paid off. Tristan was seeking $100,000 in damages at the start of the trial, claiming the false allegations he fathered her child hurt his reputation and cost him endorsement deals because companies saw him as a brand hazard. The judge halved the damages because Tristan didn't specifically lay out which endorsements he lost due to Alexander's allegations. And at number 6, Kris Jenner. In 2020, Kris Jenner was hit with an insane lawsuit that claimed that she was inappropriate with a security guard that was hired to watch over her and her family. Kourtney was also involved in this suit, and the bodyguard, Mark McWilliams, claims that both women were inappropriate with him. McWilliams claimed that after being hired in 2017, he became subject to a, quote, pattern of unwanted and unwelcome sexual advances and other harassing misconduct from Kris. Also claiming she made suggestive comments towards him about his appearance and asked him private details of his life. He also claimed that Kris massaged his neck, shoulders, arms, and back without his consent, among other physical contact. Kris's lawyer, Marty Singer, tells TMZ, quote, Kris categorically denies ever behaving inappropriately toward Mark McWilliams. The security guard worked outside the house and he never even went into Kris's home. The Kardashian lawyers claim that McWilliams is a disgruntled employee who was fired after being caught sleeping on the job. Halfway at number 5, Kylie Jenner. Kylie and her beauty brand were dragged into court after she was sued by Seed Beauty, the company that helped her formulate her Kylie Cosmetics products. The lawsuit came about after Kylie sold a majority stake in her company for $600 million to Coty. Seed Beauty believes that the new Coty deal is opening the door for Coty to steal Seed's formulations for themselves. In the documents obtained by TMZ, Seed says they've been providing their valuable recipe to makeup success to Kylie for years now, and with this new deal, their formulations are at risk of being distributed to Coty, their competition. Sources say the lawsuit is a little ridiculous since the Kardashians are most likely not successful because of their products, rather their insane social media presence. In at number 4, Kylie Jenner. Another lawsuit involving Kylie Jenner is actually on behalf of her daughter, Stormi Webster. Kylie went forward with the suit after a company called Business Moves Consulting filed to trademark, quote, Stormi Couture a month after Kylie and Travis Scott welcomed their baby, Stormi Webster, seemingly trying to take advantage of her name, which is incredibly unique. Kylie also filed her own trademarks for Stormi, including one for Stormy World. But after doing so, she was hit with a lawsuit from the same company, Business Moves, because they claimed that they filed the trademark first for Stormy Couture, and people would be confused. Jenner's asking the trademark office to cancel the other company's trademark because it seems like they only got the trademark to capitalize off of her daughter's name. Kylie says Stormy has quote achieved fame in her own right, and points out that her Stormy World birthday parties have been covered by major media outlets like Vogue. As of now, it doesn't seem like there's been any updates on the case. In at number 3, Kanye West. Kanye West was caught up in a lawsuit when a former associate of his was sued for forging Ye's signature. West's former friend and good music associate, Malik Yusuf, was sued by company Gentle Monster for claiming that Kanye West would create a promotional video for this company. Yusuf allegedly scammed the company out of $2.5 million. The company says that Yusuf even set up a meeting between Kanye and a rep for the brand, making it seem like Ye was on board for the whole thing. Kanye allegedly had no clue there was any type of business deal in place. Kanye was also not the only celebrity in this scheme. He also claimed Pharrell, Jaden Smith, and others would help out with this project. Apparently, the scam was an elaborate 9-month plan that included forged signatures and fake invoices to make the documents seem legit. In at number 2, Kim Kardashian. App developer David Liebenson is suing Kim Kardashian for $100 million over her very successful Kimoji app. The developer claims that he and Kim made a joint deal to work on the project together, but she left him high and dry. The plaintiff claims that he and his business partners created an app called Censor Out that caught the attention of Kim, and after she got in touch, they decided to partner on Kimojis. In the legal documents, Kim agreed to give him and his team 60% of the project. But right around when Kim filed for the trademark, she decided to back out of their deal. He's suing Kim for at least $100 million for breach of contract, fraud, and for the profits he believes he's lost out of by being left out of this Kimoji partnership. And finally, number 1, Kanye West. Kanye West's clothing company, Yeezy Apparel, was sued by Jordan Outdoor Enterprises after the company believed that Ye ripped off their design. Specifically, the company believes that Kanye copied their camo hoodie, camo thigh-high boots, cargo pants, hooded bomber jackets, shirts, and boots. The lawsuit claims that Jordan has distinctive markings on its Realtree line, and Kanye's companies ripped them off. To make things even shadier, the suit alleges that a rep from Yeezy contacted Jordan about using his camo patterns. But when Jordan said that Yeezy had to license these items, Kanye's reps all of a sudden stopped responding. Then, surprise surprise, Yeezy comes out with very similar camo patterns. Jordan Outdoor Enterprises is suing for damages, but also wants to stop Yeezy from selling the products in the future and to turn over any unsold inventory. In a statement, Kanye's camp said, quote, "There's nothing original or protectable about the Jordan outdoor gear in question. It's unclear if this lawsuit has been resolved."
At number 10, we have Larsa Pippen. Everyone knows Larsa and Kim Kardashian as her ex-best friend. But between the constant drama, the star caused a rift between the Kardashian family by speaking on private family matters. When Larsa spilled the tea about dating Tristan Thompson, the Kardashian family was ultimately not happy, mainly because it made their sister Khloe look like she wasn't as innocent as she seemed. In an interview with Hollywood Raw, Larsa said she was seeing Tristan and had come to LA, where she brought him to a party Kim was hosting. While at the party, Larsa introduced him to all the Kardashian Jenner sisters, and then 10 days later, he started seeing Khloe. Unfortunately for Larsa, the Kardashian family didn't believe her claims about Tristan and have since cut her out of their lives for toxic energy and behavior. The Kardashians have since claimed Larsa lied about dating Tristan, but with all that was revealed in her interview, I think it's safe to say she may have been telling the truth. Number 9, Chloe Grace Moretz. Back in 2016, when Kim was having her own celebrity feud with Taylor Swift, Kim posted her supposed proof that the singer was lying about knowing Kanye's reference to her in his song. As fans went crazy, Khloe was left feeling annoyed. She then took to Twitter to say, "Everyone in this industry needs to get their heads out of a hole and look around to realize what's actually happening in the real world." Khloe Kardashian then went to post a series of pictures of Khloe and a back shot with an unknown woman in a similar bikini to Khloe, with the caption, "Is this the hole you were referring to?" Moretz then hit back at the stars saying, "The first photo was me and neighbors too, and the second is a girl who was wrongfully photographed. Not backing down, Khloe then went to defend herself against those who criticized her for attacking the 19-year-old actress by saying, "I'm the last person to be a bully, but I have an animal instinct to protect and defend my family." As much as I support the notion to protect your family, bullying and making another woman feel bad about herself is never the answer. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift has had this ongoing feud with the Kardashian family, and Khloe has never been scared to state her opinions on the matter, and when new drama arises, you can definitely see Khloe in the center of it. The feud has been going on since 2016 over Kanye West's track, Famous. Taylor claimed she was blindsided by the lyrics, however, Kim came forward with a voice-recorded messages which stated otherwise. Later, Taylor would say that Kim edited and manipulated snippets of the phone calls. When Kim came to say Taylor was lying, it definitely was a shock when Khloe chimed in with her own opinion, proving everything Taylor has been warning us about the sisters for years. Taylor broke the silence by responding to the sisters' words instead of answering those who are asking how I feel about the video footage that leaked, proving I was telling the truth the whole time. The star then went on to say the call was illegally recorded and someone edited and manipulated the recording to frame the star. With Khloe always quickly to chime in on new feuds, the Taylor Swift feud indicates that Khloe just wants to be the center of attention and will insert herself in any family feud that comes to light. Number 7, we have Jeffree Star. If anyone knows the tea in Hollywood, it's Jeffree Star, and when Jeffree and Shane Dawson were set to review Kylie's new skincare line, which they hated, Shane mentioned the infamous tweet by Jeffree Star where he dragged Khloe after she was cheated on by Tristan Thompson. Just to recap, when news broke of Kylie's ex-best friend, Jordyn Woods, hooking up with Tristan Thompson, when the news first broke, Khloe was pregnant with her first child, True. Jeffree, pretty much being neighbors with the Kardashians, decided to input himself into the center of the drama by saying, "Learn to co-parent on a healthy level and stop acting like your man isn't trash either." He then went to Snapchat to say Tristan and Jordyn had been seeing each other for over a month or two, and it wasn't just the first time. Jeffree noted that all of Hollywood talks and that he was given this information by hair and nail stylist. Jeffree's not afraid when it comes to inputting his knowledge on scandals in Hollywood, and you can always trust him to back up his information, especially when it comes to the Kardashian sisters. At number 6, we're bringing in Caitlyn Jenner. Khloe and Caitlyn used to have a good relationship, however the pair fell out following Kris and Caitlyn's divorce in 2015. This came just after Caitlyn transitioned in her interview about her marriage to Kris Jenner with Diane Sawyer in Vanity Fair. In the interview, Caitlyn revealed the star wasn't really supportive of her interview or her transition, which was a really heartbreaking time for her. While Kris was left feeling disappointed, Khloe stepped in to say that Caitlyn essentially did her mother dirty, and Caitlyn really had nerve when she said, "What happened to family sticking together?" Overall, both stars were left feeling heartbroken, as before the interview, the Good American co-founder and Olympian were notoriously close prior to Caitlyn's transition, especially since the star was really supportive in the beginning about the transition and told Caitlyn to do whatever makes her happy. But then didn't talk to Caitlyn for the next coming years. Caitlyn continues to have a challenging relationship with her stepdaughters, however it seems her and Khloe are finally back on good terms. As Khloe stated, she talks to Caitlyn once in a blue moon, but since they're both really busy with their schedules and the pandemic, the stars ultimately have no more beef between each other. Number 5. Jordyn Woods. When news broke about Tristan Thompson cheating on Khloe with her younger sister Kylie Jenner's best friend, the whole world came to a stop, and people were truly shocked. Thompson was spotted at a party, and witnesses at the party claimed the basketball player was making out with Woods. But the series of events followed proved the situation was more complicated than that. After news broke, all Kardashian family unfollowed Jordyn, and Kylie even asked her to move out of her guest house that Jordyn was living in at the time. The sisters all claimed they helped Jordyn to be successful on her own, and she would be nothing without them. And this scandal was an ultimate betrayal for them. Jordyn denied the allegations at first, and Khloe can be heard yelling, liar on a snippet that showed on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Jordyn went on to Red Table Talk to clear up the rumors and said when she was leaving the party, Tristan kissed her and she left. Jordyn during this scandal was bullied by the Kardashian clan. On social media, they also got some of Jordyn's closest friends to chime in on the situation. While Khloe blaming the star for ruining her family and not sharing the blame with her baby daddy Tristan, Jordyn went on to be excommunicated by the Kardashian and Jenner family, and both have since moved on to bigger and better things. Number 4. Snooki. Snooki appeared on Cocktails with Khloe for an interview. Snooki had a lot to say about her appearance on the show and ultimately said Khloe was being downright mean when they were talking about how they first met. On the show, Snooki explained that Kim had asked her to come over to her house and Snooki accepted because she was obsessed with Khloe Kardashian. Upon meeting the star looked her up and down and asked why she was there, and it made her feel out of place. When Nicole brought this up to the star on the show, Khloe acted like she had no idea what Snooki was talking about and tried to play it off. Snooki then went on to say she left the house and was really upset by the whole ordeal. While fans are quick to chime in saying Khloe doesn't look like a mean girl, many noted that Khloe didn't give us mean girl vibes, but Snooki proved us otherwise. The two have since cleared the air, and Khloe came out with an apology saying she was sorry for her behavior that night and said, "Maybe I was jealous you were getting more attention. I have no idea why I did what I did." Number 3. Scott Disick. Who could forget Scott and Khloe's bond? While many thought this bond would be never unbroken, that notion ultimately came to an end recently. Their friendship over the years has definitely had its fair shares of up and downs. With accusations and dramas, this friendship was fizzled out and Scott had a lot to say about it. With Kourtney moving on with her new man Travis, Scott knew his ex was happy and that her love was a real thing. However, he didn't want her family to leave him out in the cold like they had been doing. Scott told Khloe that being left out was super hurtful, especially while he doesn't have any other family to go to. However, instead of Khloe being supportive, she was more worried about Scott seeing PDA exchange between Kourtney and Travis. Scott went on to say he would rather be around them than not around his family at all. Since Scott has been pushed out of the family, he has since been focusing on his kids, but spending as much time with them as possible. Hopefully Scott can repair his relationship with the stars and they can work out their differences, because seeing Scott struggle to be a part of the family is definitely heartbreaking and no one deserves to feel like that. Number 2. Amber Rose. In 2015, Amber Rose's feuds with the Kardashian family hit its peak when Khloe Kardashian decided to defend her sisters and family. The star decided to give her input on the rapper Tyga's relationship with Khloe's younger sister Kylie Jenner. Rose went on to say Kylie is a baby and Tyga should be ashamed of himself. He had a beautiful woman and a baby and he left them for a 16-year-old girl who just turned 17. Khloe decided to set the record straight and came to defend her sister by saying, "Don't worry about Kylie or her career, she is 17 and has it together." The star went on to say, "Please stop talking about my family in interviews, the 9 of us don't talk about you." Simply not letting Khloe get the best of her, Rose decided to respond with lengthy tweets, Khloe with the hashtag "Don't Panic," which is a song French Montana wrote. The feud between Rose and the Kardashians stems from her former relationship with Kanye West, and since Rose has never been scared to hit back at the stars with her own input of her own opinions. Number 1. Kim Kardashian. Say what you would like about the Kardashians, but it's clear Kris Jenner has done a glorious job, not only with their show's success, but the success of each of her children. The family likes to keep it real, and the feuds have always been the center of the show, especially when it comes down to Kourtney, Kim, and Khloe. But who can forget the infamous purse episode where Kim and Khloe found themselves in a really heated argument? While the Kardashians were rising to stardom, in this one episode, the two stars found themselves in an argument after Kim purchased a new Bentley back in 2009. The altercation was captured during the second season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and since has become one of E!Series' most quotable and viral moments. While the sisters Khloe, Kourtney, and Rob were talking about Kim over dinner in Rob's apartment, Kim was outside and heard them discussing her and making fun of her for buying a new Bentley. Kim ultimately came in furious, and the ultimate purse fiasco came to light and the star could be seen yelling at Khloe not to be rude. Families fight, that's no secret, but family also sticks together and Khloe always knows to come to her family's side, and that's something we can all admire.
In at number 10, Nick Lachey. Nick Lachey also exposed Kim for being a little too friendly with the paparazzi in order to get some publicity from him. The singer claims that Kim might have only been dating him for publicity. Apparently the pair only dated for about a week, and some shady stuff went down. One time he said, let's just say this, we went to a movie, no one followed us there. Somehow, mysteriously, when we left, there were 30 photographers waiting outside. And I think from that story, it's very clear that Kim was tipping off the paparazzi, so there would be photos of them together. And if you didn't already know, unless someone is like incredibly famous, if they're a paparazzi when they are out, they definitely tipped off that paparazzi. And at number 9, Jon Hamm. The Mad Men star definitely has some choice words for the Kardashians, and based off what he said, it's clear he does not like the family and doesn't approve of how they rose to fame. With him telling LUK, whether it's Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian or whoever, stupidity is certainly celebrated. Being an idiot is a valuable commodity in this culture because you're rewarded significantly. It's celebrated. It doesn't make sense to me. So clearly he doesn't like the reality TV stars whatsoever and doesn't like how our society praises socialites like Paris Hilton and the Kardashians. And like, I kinda get where he's going. Like, you know, he has some valid points. In at number 8, Kristin Cavallari. Kristin Cavallari has a very interesting relationship with the Kar Jenner clan. It all started when Kristin dated Brody Jenner, and through that relationship she also became friends with the Kardashians. But after Brody and Kristin broke up, there was tension between Kristin and Kourtney Kardashian. After Kourtney caught Scott out with Kristin while they were in an off period. And after that, Kristin called out the family for using that information as a publicity stunt to get viewers to their show. And allegedly, after rumors broke that Kristin and Scott were having an affair, the Kardashians refused to deny it and instead waited to address it on their show, leaving Kristin looking like, you know, the bad, terrible other woman when it just wasn't even true. More than a little shady if you ask me. And at number 7, Barack Obama. Former President Barack Obama also couldn't hold his tongue when talking about the famous family. And it's definitely quite the compliment when the president is speaking about you. Or is it? The former president was talking about the changing dynamics of the American dream and how it's shifting with time, saying, there was not that window into the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Kids weren't monitoring every day what Kim Kardashian was wearing or where Kanye West was going on vacation, and thinking that somehow was the mark of success. And ouch, here it's pretty obvious he was throwing some major shade their way. And he doesn't seem to like how they are now the standard for what success is. And apparently Kanye West did not like those comments and actually fired back at the president. But also, since Obama was a former president, you know, I trust his opinion and judgment way more than Kanye's. And at number 6, Kris Humphries. Kris Humphries was someone who probably challenged the Kardashian family the most and exposed secrets about them I'm sure they did not want out. Kim and Kris got married in one of the most lavish televised ceremonies ever, but famously, after only 72 days, the couple split because Kim was having second thoughts. But based off how much content their reality shows got because of that relationship, then the breakup, Kris called Kim out for fraud, arguing that the whole relationship was just a publicity stunt. And their divorce was so messy it lasted 2 whole years before it was finalized. But during the massive trial, Kris exposed that a lot of the Kardashian show was scripted, and that the show purposefully made him look bad. Like when him and Scott threw a party in one episode while the girls were out of town, and they looked really horrible for going behind their backs when they told them not to have the party. The whole thing was actually just a huge sham, with Kim and Kourtney knowing about the party and acting like they didn't know for TV, in turn making Kris look like a terrible husband when it literally wasn't like that at all. Halfway at number 5, Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson revealed on a radio show that she was presented an opportunity to present an award with Kendall and Kylie Jenner, but Wilson ended up turning it down, with her saying in the interview, I got asked to present with Kendall and Kylie at the recent VMAs and said no. It's not that you hate any of them individually, but it's just that everything they stand for is against everything I stand for, and they're not famous for talent. I've worked really hard to get where I've gotten to. And even though a lot of people who dislike the Kardashians share the same sentiments, Oprah Winfrey actually came to their defense against Wilson, if you can believe it, with Oprah saying that she couldn't believe how hard the family works, referencing when she filmed The Family for Oprah's show, with crews taping The Family for 7 hours straight, and then they filmed more of their reality show after. So, as we all know, the Kardashian family really works very hard, even though it doesn't seem like they do too much. And at number 4, Bette Midler. After Kim uploaded her incredibly famous nude selfie where she covered her, nether regions with just like black bars, the internet went ablaze talking about it. One of the people that didn't hold their tongue was Bette Midler, who tweeted out, "Kim Kardashian tweeted a nude selfie today. If Kim wants us to see a part of her we've never seen, she's gonna have to swallow the camera." Which, come on, you have to admit, it's pretty hilarious. Like, even if you like the Kardashians, like, it's a good tweet. As a clapback, Kim tweeted out that it was past Bette's bedtime and that she was a fake friend. And Bette responded back, "Looks like anyone can take a selfie, but not everyone can take a joke." And then she lightened the tension by posting her own nude. When talking about the feud later, Bette had no hard feelings and said she takes Twitter pretty lightly and hoping that Kim did the same. Hopefully Kim wasn't actually too peeved about that. I mean, come on, it was clearly a joke. I don't know. And at number 3, Wendy Williams. If you watch Wendy's show, which I definitely do on occasion, she spills the tea like nobody else, then you know she does not like the Kardashians and is always very blunt when talking about them. But Wendy got the spot of a Kardashian hater when she made some shady comments about Kim after her robbery incident. And when talking about the incident in Paris, Wendy said, "I would hope that she's not making any part of this up for dramatic effect. Because this family, they're kind of soulless. You can't believe everything that you hear." But this was very, very upsetting. And although I do not agree with Wendy at all that the Paris incident was a publicity stunt, a lot of people did feel that the incident could have been exaggerated by the family for views, with people citing numerous times in the past that this has happened with the family. And again, I do not agree, but I mean, she just brought it up as kind of a possibility, and obviously, she loves to shade them whenever she can. And at number 2, Blac Chyna. Blac Chyna is another Kardashian ex who was ousted from the family after her and Rob's relationship ended. And you know that whatever went down was bad, because the family is still nice to Tristan and not Chyna, even though Tristan is arguably way worse and embarrassed them so much more. The first of the feud was surrounding the fact that Kylie started dating Tyga, who was Chyna's ex. Then Chyna started dating Rob. And then the two got engaged and then pregnant very quickly. But after they had Dream, the whole thing fell apart and Chyna and the Kardashians were facing off on social media. Chyna even filed a lawsuit against the family, claiming that they stopped her show Rob and Chyna from getting a second season. A judge dismissed that case, but Chyna still shades the Kardashians whenever she can. And at number 1, Anna Wintour. This last one is something that I had no idea existed, but it's probably the shadiest one of all. So Vogue is one of the most prestigious magazines to be on the cover of, and Kim Kardashian and Kanye West were put on the cover in a very controversial move by the magazine's editor, Anna Wintour. When talking about the criticism, she noted that it would be a misstep to ignore the couple's influence, and she made the choice to lead and deal with the backlash rather than follow. And all of that praise to the couple is, all well and good, until she gives them quite a backhanded compliment, saying, "I think if we just remain deeply tasteful and just put deeply tasteful people on the cover, it would be a rather boring magazine. Nobody would talk about us." And although I totally get what she's trying to say, calling the couple, deeply untasteful is definitely more than a little shady. But I mean, if anyone can shade anyone, it's Anna Wintour. She can shade whoever she wants.
At number 10, Keke Palmer. So many people have opinions on the Kardashians. The way they look, the way they act, their business, everything. A lot of people don't like them for a number of reasons, but actress Keke Palmer has blatantly come out and talked about why she dislikes the Kardashians, specifically Kylie. Keke has shown sympathy in the past for Kylie because of the insecurities that Kylie has professed, but Keke isn't too fond of how Kylie went about dealing with those insecurities. A lot of the Kardashians show off their appearances all the time, and many of them have had plastic surgery, but Keke doesn't seem to like that Kylie flaunted how she changed her appearance like her sisters. The actress believes that Kylie went about dealing with her insecurities in the wrong way, and she hates the fact that she's been praised for this paid glow up. In an interview, Keke spoke out about all of this, where she said, quote, "In the sense of the Kardashians, it's like, I'm going to show you so much perfect and be everything a woman should be or everything a man would like or love. Specifically in the situation of Kylie, where you've had a young girl people have seen on television since she was a kid, and they literally told her she was so ugly, the ugly person in the family. She went and did apparently everything the world deemed as beautiful. The even crazier part is that everybody loves her for it." End quote. Kiki has deemed Kylie inauthentic, and that's why she dislikes her so much.
And at number 9, Kylie Minogue. Before there was Kylie Jenner, Kylie Minogue was the most famous Kylie. But in 2015, Jenner tried to trademark the name Kylie, and Minogue fought back. The Australian pop star shaded Jenner when she tried to trademark their first name. According to the US Patent and Trademark Office, in 2015 Jenner tried to register Kylie in the US for advertising services and endorsement services. But Kylie Minogue's team filed their own charges to ensure the trademark did not go through. Minogue claimed it would, quote, damage her own reputation. In the legal documents, Minogue's team classified Jenner as a, quote, secondary reality television personality known for her, quote, photographic exhibitionism and controversial posts on social media. Very savage. Then Minogue tweeted, quote, hello, my name is Kylie, #lightyears, insinuating that she was here way before Jenner. After this whole debacle, it's clear the two do not like each other.
At number 8, Madison Beer. There are a handful of people in Hollywood who have their grievances with Kylie's beauty brand. In the past, she's been accused of copying the same packaging as Jeffree Star's makeup brand, but she's also had some beef with Madison Beer because the singer accused Kylie of stealing Madison's purple palette idea from back in 2017. In October of 2017, Kylie released her purple palette from her Kylie Cosmetics brand, and soon after the collection was made public, Madison shaded Kylie on Instagram, alleging that Kylie betrayed her. Madison posted on Instagram saying, quote, when people fully steal your idea and they come out with what was supposed to be a collab, whack, end quote. Though the collab between Madison and Kylie was never confirmed, Madison appeared to have hinted at it back in March of 2017 when talking to paparazzi. I could imagine how hurt you would feel if you worked on something just for it all to fall through with you but still be sold. That would be a serious punch to the gut. When a follower called Madison out on being salty about the whole ordeal and that she didn't invent purple eyeshadow, the singer clapped back saying, quote, you sound very unintelligent. Who in their right mind would think they invented an eyeshadow color or shade? That is not at all in any way what I said or even slightly implied, end quote. Apparently Kylie and Madison were friends before all of this happened, so I wonder if they're over it now or if that ruined their friendship.
And at number 7, Paris Jackson. Kendall and Kylie got tons of backlash when they released a series of vintage t-shirts for their clothing line, and photos of legends like Notorious B.I.G., Tupac Shakur, and the Doors and Ozzy Osbourne were beside their own on the shirts. Tons of celebrities called out the sisters for their tone-deaf decision, including Paris Jackson, the daughter of the late Michael Jackson. Paris took to Twitter and wrote, quote, as a huge fan of Zeppelin, The Doors, Floyd, I mean these bands literally helped shape who I am today. I can't condone this fashion. Legends like these who completely changed our world today, not just the music world, should be respected and honored, not turned into this. Pink Floyd is not Chanel, Led Zeppelin is not Michael Kors, Metallica is not Givenchy, don't get it twisted. Hashtag bands not brands and hashtag respect music. Along with getting tons of heat, the sisters were also slapped with multiple lawsuits, so they decided to stop selling the shirts shortly after their release.
At number 6, Selena Gomez. Another celebrity who seems to have had beef with Kylie is former Disney star Selena Gomez. Turns out that Selena had an on and off again friendship with the Jenner sisters, and it all stemmed from Justin Bieber. During the time that Selena and Justin were a thing, Selena started feeling a little iffy about Kylie specifically because she thought that Kylie was flirting with Justin. Selena and Kylie apparently got into a confrontation in 2014 because of it, and it all went down at Justin's house. According to sources, what happened that evening was that Kylie allegedly, quote, sent sexy pics of herself to Justin, and that's what started the fight. Selena saw the pictures on Justin's phone and she freaked out and immediately left, end quote. The source also commented on the Jenner sisters saying, quote, Kylie and Kendall live in such a fantasy world with what the show has turned their family into. At the end of the day, Selena was just there to be a part of the show and enhance their brand rather than being legit friends. Thankfully, Selena realized that she was being used and got out, end quote. Some sources also claim that Selena stopped being friends with the Jenners because of their use of substances, drinking, and partying, but the Jenners have denied those claims.
Halfway number 5, Lourdes Leon. Lourdes Leon, daughter of Madonna, dissed Kylie after Lourdes was invited to Kylie's birthday party in 2015. Apparently, she finds the Kardashian family vile and was horrified about the invite. A source revealed that Lourdes shaded Kylie over her social media activity and selfie taking. After she received the invite, a source exposed, quote, she couldn't believe Kylie thought that she'd be receptive to a party invite and has completely ignored her. As far as Lourdes is concerned, she's not going to lower herself to even responding. Adding that Lourdes is very picky about who she spends her time with, and Kylie doesn't make the cut. The source added that Lourdes' friends are, quote, much more interested in changing the world than in taking selfies. And in my opinion, you must really hate someone if the thought of them inviting you to their birthday leaves you horrified.
At number 4, Amber Rose. The Kardashians have caused a lot of tension in the past in case of their relationships. There's been so much drama with cheating, rumors, babies, and so much more, so it's not surprising to know that Kylie is hated because of relationship quarrels. Amber Rose has had some harsh things to say about Kylie in the past, especially when it came to her relationship with rapper Tyga. Tyga had left Blac Chyna, the mother of his son, for Kylie, and Amber did not approve of that at all. During a radio interview, Amber spoke out about that drama when she said, quote, "She's a baby, she needs to go to bed at 7 o'clock and relax. That's ridiculous. Tyga should be ashamed of himself. That's how I feel, for sure. He has a beautiful woman and a baby and left that all for a 16-year-old who just turned 17. End quote. Amber wasn't the only one to comment on Kylie and Tyga's relationship, but her commentary definitely had some heat.
And at number 3, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star has been coming for Kylie publicly ever since she came out with an online makeup company that was a competitor to Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Their feud is totally one-sided, but I'm sure that Kylie has seen all the shade that Jeffree has dished out. Back when Jeffree was famous for his makeup reviews, he reviewed Kylie Cosmetics on multiple occasions, and more often than not, he trashed her products. When reviewing her over $300 brush set, he called it cheap dollar store product. Jeffree and Shane Dawson also trashed Kylie's skin in their review, where they called the products drying, irritating, and overpriced. Jeffree even shaded Kylie's Forbes cover, where she was declared the world's youngest self-made billionaire. He said, quote, "I declined the feature, so they had to pick someone."
At number 2, Amanda Stenberg. The most common scandal that the Kardashians seem to get involved in is something involving cultural appropriation. Many of the Kardashians have been accused of appropriating black culture and blackfishing, and Kylie seems to be one of the worst offenders when it comes to these things. The internet has got really fired up when Kylie was seen wearing cornrows, and actress Amanda Stenberg went off on Kylie for it. The Hunger Games actress tweeted saying, quote, "When you appropriate black features and culture but fail to use your position of power to help black Americans by directing attention towards your wigs instead of police brutality or racism, hashtag white girls do it better." End quote. On top of that, Amanda also posted a video titled "Don't Cash Crop on My Cornrow," explaining that, quote, "The line between cultural appropriation and cultural exchange is always going to be blurred, but here's the thing. Appropriation occurs when a style leads to racist generalizations or stereotypes where it originated but deemed high fashion, cool, or funny when the privileged take it for themselves." End quote. Amanda already took a disliking towards Kylie after that, but that didn't seem to do much because she kept posting in cornrows after that.
And finally at number 1, Blac Chyna. There is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that Blac Chyna hates Kylie Jenner. I think pretty much anyone would hate the woman that your boyfriend left you for. Back in 2014, Blac Chyna was in a long-term relationship with Tyga. The pair even had a son together. But that all changed when Kylie came into the picture, and Tyga left Chyna for a 16-year-old Kylie. Kylie and Tyga dated for 2 years before splitting. At this time, tons of Chyna's friends and family were shading Kylie for breaking up a family, including Amber Rose. Apparently, Kim Kardashian was even friends with Chyna while she was with Tyga, and Kim said that Chyna was devastated when she found out that Tyga was leaving her and their 3-year-old son King Cairo for Kylie. Years later, Chyna would get in a long-term relationship with Rob Kardashian, Kylie's half-brother, and have a child with him. Some even speculate that Blac Chyna got with Rob purely out of spite so she could make Kylie's life hell.